welcome to Bread and Butter, the show looking behind the scenes of the hospitality business. I'm Wendy Hargraves, and our show is brought to you by Aussie tech company Hungry Hungry. We've got a jam-packed half hour with 5 amazing guests today. So I won't be doing a news segment this morning, there just won't be time. We'll find out about coffee baron Salvatore Maletesta's new project, Big M for grown-ups, just quietly. And I'll be asking ABC food correspondent Alice Zaslavski, aka Alice in Frames, how her fixation with veggies turned into the best cookbook to hit the shelves this year. We'll also find out about the shop that only sells Aussie cheese. It's the first of its kind in Australia. And we'll find out why Richmond's tofu shop is closing on Friday after 38 years of trading on Bridge Road. Now, we are also hoping to cross to Sally Capp, the newly elected Lord Mayor of Melbourne, which will be very exciting because I've been looking forward to asking her about her, basically her future for Melbourne's hospitality industry, which will be really cool. So stay tuned for that. Right now, though, I'd like to introduce one of the most passionate people I've met in a very long time. His name's Hakim Halim. And if there was an award for eating cheese, my next guest would have a cupboard full of trophies. He spent a decade tasting his way through every Australian cheese on the market. And now he's running the first ever store devoted entirely to Australian cheese. This Singapore-born cheesemonger loves dairy so much, he actually developed a lactose intolerance, but that's not stopping him either. Hakim Halim joins me in the studio now. Thank you very much for coming in, and thank you for bringing in this amazing cheese platter.
Thank you so much, Wendy, for having me. And I hope you'll enjoy my cheese platter.
It's my pleasure. So these are all Aussie cheeses,
They're
right?
all Aussie cheeses from Victoria, from Tassie, and from South Australia.
So why is it then that you are the first? Like here we are, we're in 2020 and you're the first business to only stock Aussie cheese.
Well, I think because people are still buyers for European cheeses and imported cheeses, and that's fine because they have hundreds and hundreds of years of history, whereby Australian cheese is still quite young as an industry. So I think someone needs to be at the forefront to champion our amazing produce that we have right now.
So tell me about your business. Where do you operate your cheese shop and how does it all work?
Right, so my cheese shop, Ripe Cheese, we are located in the iconic Queen Vic Market, in the Dairy Hall, across from the Land of Soy and Honey and the Givets House Spice Shop.
Okay, so what's it like you're in the Dairy Hall of the Vic Market, which is basically the home of all things cheese.
Yeah.
And you dared to set up another cheese shop.
I know.
What were you thinking?
I know, I'm mad. But I just think that because I'm so different with what I provide, I really source all my cheeses directly from cheesemakers. In fact, only from boutique cheesemakers, small family-run cheesemakers with their own farms, milking their own milk and making their own cheese. So that's how I set myself apart from the rest of the cheese shops in the market.
Now, please don't take offense to this, but you were born and bred in Singapore. Yeah. You have a lactose intolerance.
I know. Irony.
What are you thinking?
I don't know. I just love dairy so much and I can't stop eating it. And I guess these days, my mantra in life is eat and hope for the best.
Well, that's a good way to be.
Yeah.
Now, right through lockdown, people haven't been able to get out and do their tastings themselves.
Yeah.
So tell us what you've been doing during lockdown. I just love this idea.
So with lockdown, I thought, how can I maintain and improve the demand for Australian cheese and also help out the cheesemakers who may be facing some form of issues with trying to get the cheese to the market. So I created something called Cheese Talks, which is an online cheese masterclass. Every first Friday of each month, we invite an Australian cheesemaker and I will deliver 4 cheeses from them to the participants and a bottle of wine. And for an hour on Zoom, we talk about cheese, we talk about why they make cheese, about the inspiration behind the cheesemakers, and we drink wine and we eat cheese.
So you'll keep doing that?
Amazing.
You're going to keep doing that out of lockdown?
However, for next year, we are doing something a bit more special. I'm actually hiring a bus whereby I'm going to drive a group of people to the cheesemakers in regional Victoria. And we will see how they make the cheese. We'll also have a chance to make cheese ourselves.
Fantastic.
I know, I'm so excited.
You're going to be the big cheese.
I know.
Well, I'm really looking forward to trying this. Quickly let us know what we've got here.
Right, so we have Buffalo Blue from Berries Creek. We have a wash rind from L'artisan. We have a beautiful cloth-aged cheddar from Tassie. This is a Willamette Mist from Prom Country, and there's a 5-year aged goat's cheese from Barossa Valley Cheese. This is my favorite.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with cheese.
No, not at all. No, please dig in.
Well, as soon as this show's finished, we will definitely get into it. I look forward to following your cheesy antics next year. It sounds really exciting.
I know, I'm really excited, and people are really excited to come along for the ride.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much, Wendy.
That was Hakim Halim from Ripe Cheese at the Queen Vic Market. Now, I've got plenty of reasons to do a little happy dance here today. I have cheese in front of me, and also Melbourne's celebrating another double donut day, which is more than a month being COVID-free. Government insiders say Premier Dan Andrews is planning to loosen restrictions even more this Sunday, allowing more diners in restaurants and pubs, and possibly getting rid of the awful mandatory face masks. This will come as great news to my next guest, the freshly re-elected Lord Mayor of Melbourne, the Right Honourable Sally Capp. Welcome to Bread and Butter, Councillor Capp.
Good morning, Wendy. It is lovely to be able to join you.
Fantastic.
And can I just say, I love Ripe. I cannot believe that you didn't mention their cheese toasties. They are the best.
Well, I have to get in there and try one. Now, look, I know that Hakim knows his cheese, so he will definitely do a good cheese toastie. We'll have to have a bit of a toastie off with the amazing toasties at the Paran Market, because they do some good ones there as well.
I'm sure they do, but I think that the toasties at QVM will be the best.
Not biased much. Now, congratulations on your re-election. Now, after months of lockdown, the city seems to be coming back to life. That at least during the day, there are more people on the streets in the lead up to Christmas. But I know that there are many hospitality businesses that are still doing it really tough after such a long lockdown. What's your plan to get hospitality back on its feet?
Well, you're so right. We are starting to see more people come into the city, and we're so pleased, and we'll continue to encourage that. But the numbers tell us that during the week, our pedestrian count is still down as low as 30% comparison year on year. And on the weekends, it is starting to increase, particularly as people start enjoying their Christmas shopping and their Christmas catch-ups, but we're still at around 60% of normal pedestrian foot traffic. So our efforts to encourage people to come in to support our hospitality sector, our retail sector, our culture and entertainment sector is still vital, and we know that every day matters to our hospitality owners in terms of the initiatives to bring people in.
There seem to be a lot of suburban venues doing quite well with so many people still working from home. How do we get people back into the city to actually get a taste of how fabulous it is?
Well, Wendy, there are so many things on the go. Firstly, we know that we have to build up confidence for people to feel that they're coming into a COVID-safe environment. So we're doing a lot of cleaning. All of our venues and businesses have COVID-safe plans to give that reassurance. And then we're kicking off with all sorts of initiatives. It's free on-street parking during December and into the new year. We have had Urban Blooms, amazing floral installations around the city as a new attraction. We've just finished Melbourne Fashion Week. On Friday, our Christmas extravaganza kicked off. And this morning, we've actually launched Melbourne Music Week Extended, which instead of going for the normal 1 week is going to go for almost 3 months this year. All of those things combined with initiatives such as the extended outdoor dining are about reminding people of the things that they love about Melbourne, but also creating a sense of rediscovery so that people feel compelled, so that Melbourne as a destination seems irresistible to attract people back into our city.
Now, I've heard big things about your plans for New Year's Eve, replacing fireworks with this massive outdoor dining festival. How are the ticket sales going so far for that?
They are going really well. Talking to lots of the restaurants who are involved in our Street Feast program, many of them are already sold out, but still plenty of seats left. Wendy, it runs, instead of just the one night, we've got New Year's Eve, we've got a what would we call it, a hangover brunch the next morning, and then dinner again on New Year's Day as a way of really spreading the fun and celebration of leaving 2020 behind us and saying hello to 2021. So this Street Feast Festival will be fantastic. And look, whether you can get into the booking in the actual street parties or you want to go to your favourite venue, it's so important that we say to people, the city is open, the streets will be full of music, there will be a fantastic vibe. And although we're not going ahead with the fireworks, we still feel that the city will be a terrific place to celebrate the coming of the new year.
Well, I think it's a great idea. You've also just announced a voucher giveaway campaign at the Queen Vic Market. There was talk of restaurant voucher systems before the municipal elections. Will there also be a voucher system for restaurants in the city like they have in Sydney?
Yes, so we're working on that at the moment. We have approved at Council the exploration of the different options for how we can implement a voucher program. The program at Queen Vic Market is $500, $200 vouchers, so $100,000 that we're investing there to encourage people to come in and buy their Christmas lunch on us, effectively. And we know it's a fantastic place, as we've just heard, for wonderful fresh produce. You can also do your Christmas shopping there for gifts. I've just done a big effort there on Sunday. It was fabulous. But the voucher program...
Speaking of the big market, the traders are telling me that they're still a bit worried about a safe injecting room being built nearby. Now, you came out against this proposal before the election. Are you going to be standing by that position?
Absolutely, Wendy, and the work is ongoing with the state government, a process led by Ken Lay, and we're just waiting for the next steps on that process. He's finished now his consultation with all of the stakeholders, traders, residents nearby, visitors, the City of Melbourne, and many other groups, and we're looking forward to hearing from him on his thoughts on whether that's the most appropriate spot and what the next steps might be.
Well, we'll wait with bated breath. Now, the hot tip also is that Premier Andrews will relax restrictions on Sunday even more and possibly get rid of mandatory masks. You've got a pretty close connection with Spring Street. Have you got any tips for me?
Well, Wendy, the great news is that even as restrictions have lifted and the state government has taken that very cautious and steady approach to a return and a reopening, at every hurdle, for every target that's been set, the Melburnians have been so respectful in adhering to the restrictions: face masks, social distancing, hand sanitizer. All of our businesses have their COVID safe plans in place and are showing really good adherence. So I think that gives the state government, with those continued donut days, as you said at the start, some confidence that we can continue to take steps forward in easing the restrictions and us moving towards COVID normal. I mean, whatever that looks like, but that's still evolving and unfolding. There have been some fantastic silver linings, I've got to say, out of the steps we've taken for recovery, and the parklets and outdoor dining is certainly one part of that. Teams in state government and the City of Melbourne have been, I think, very innovative and ingenious about how we deliver on festivals such as Melbourne Music Week, which is extended over 3 months, has a lot of online content, but also a lot of in-person content. And that's all possible because there's a sense that the systems that have been set up to protect people and the willingness of the public to adhere to the restrictions means that we can have confidence in our way forward.
Well, I look forward to seeing how it all rolls out over summer, Councillor Capp. Thank you so much for your time today. I hope to have you on the show again in the future, as the future of our dining scene is definitely going to be in the news in the new year.
It will be. It's so important to Melbourne. It's such a big part of our personality, and it's a really big part of our success as a city. And Wendy, thanks for your interest in supporting our hospitality sector.
Thank you, Councillor Capp. Now, I'm very excited to talk to my next guest. She's the ABC's culinary correspondent and the author of what I believe is the best cookbook to hit the shelves this year, just in time for Christmas. She's also Australia's reigning queen of veggies. I'm talking about Alice Zaslavski, who we all know as Alice in Frames after she burst onto our screens on MasterChef in 2012. Welcome to Bread and Butter, Alice.
Thank you, Wendy Hargraves.
I am so excited to have my little hands on this book. Seriously, it is so good. I actually pre-ordered it. It's the first time in my life I have pre-ordered a book.
Really?
Months in advance.
What sold you? What made you think that I'm going to get it right now?
Because I know I need to eat more veggies.
Yeah.
And I'm about to get a box full of veggies from Angelica Organic Farm through the community supported agriculture. So I know that every week a box of veggies will be coming straight from the farm. I never know what they're going to be.
Yeah.
So this is going to be my Bible. 500 pages of veg.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to make this?
Well, within my mind, percolating, it took me years and years, but from go to woe, it took me about 9 months to write it, to send it off. So I think that the whole process of writing this book is a lot like gestating a food baby, I suppose, a book baby, and to see it out in the world and to see it received the way that it has been across Australia and the world is really vindicating, I suppose, validates all that time that I took with it, but also really encouraging, because I feel like we are in the midst of a massive paradigm shift in the way that people are embracing veggies, in the way that they're embracing produce boxes as well. You know, Tim and Dairy, their CSA scheme through Angelica, there are so many other incredible growers that are now being supported. I actually think 2020 precipitated a lot of that change too, because
going direct to the grower.
Exactly, and the grower also feeling empowered to go online. That's something that they never would have thought to do before, and now we've got Vic Country Market, we've got so many different supporting structures for those growers. So to be able to support them further and to write a resource that people can go to if they get kohlrabi in their veg produce box, if they get a weird looking nubbly thing and go, what do I do with okra? Well, here's one I prepared earlier.
Well, I consider this one of the major food groups. I hope there is cheese in this.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
is
there has to be cheese.
Is there ever? Cheese and vegetables. And actually, obviously, this book is not vegan, it's not vegetarian, it's veg forward. So there are a lot of kind of substitutions for people that are already within that plant forward, plant-based camp. But if you are the sort of person that can't eat a meal without dropping some cheese in, i.e. me and you, then there are definitely some really great cheese-based dishes. You know, one in particular that I think of is the khachapuri, which is a Georgian cheese pie with silver beet and gooey kind of mozzarella and feta. You know, it's
haven't got to that yet, but I have got to the KFC.
Oh yeah.
The KFC, it's awesome. Kentucky Fried Cauliflower.
Carolyn fried cauliflower, but actually you could do it Kentucky style as well.
So I just saw the KFC and thought I completely misread it.
No.
But here I am making it thinking, oh yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
KFC.
But that's I think the connotation is that there's a certain secret herb and spice mix with a deep fried something something, and the deep fried something something is cauliflower. The Carolyn element there is the curry powder and the curry leaves, but you could easily sub in oregano, you know, the sort of herbs that you would expect to see on fried chicken, and then you would have a completely different iteration of the dish. And that really excites me, because to me, the recipes in this book, and there are over 150, but the recipes are more like serving suggestions. So if you don't know what to do, if you don't know where to start, here's where you can start, but actually play with it, change it, tell me. I won't be offended. In fact, I will be enthused by your changes.
Excellent. So where can people find your book?
They can find my book at impraiseofveg.com, where you can find your nearest stockist if you want to go to an indie, or you can go to Booktopia or Amazon. Basically, I'm trying to create the pathway to purchase that is closest, so that you can know that your book will be with you as soon as possible. But I also have to tell you, Wendy, you know, live exclusive, this book is selling out. So if you've been watching it for a while, I feel like I'm on like a home shopping network now, but honestly, if you are looking at this book and you want to give it as a Christmas gift, this is the week to buy it, because I'm really nervous for the people that are thinking, oh, I'll just get it, you know, Christmas Eve. It won't be there. And we won't get another print until Feb. So, you know, which is fine. You can pre-order for Feb, please, but
I'm very happy that I
Christmas.
did get it. It is really a beautiful book.
Thank
it reminds me of Stephanie Alexander's Bible of Food. So this is the new Bible for veg. Now, it's been my absolute pleasure to have you in the studio, Alice. Thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, such a pleasure to see you, Wendy,
Yes.
and in the flesh.
Can you
Wild.
stay and eat some cheese after the show?
Happily.
Excellent. Excellent. That was Alice Zaslavski, also known as Alice in Frames. Look out for her new book, In Praise of Veg, in all good bookshops. Now, we're covering all the food groups today. We've done cheese, we've done veggies, and now to my all-time favourite food group of all time, coffee. My next guest has played a huge role in shaping Melbourne's coffee culture over several decades, and today he's come up with another first, specialty iced coffee in a little milk carton, just like a Big M for grown-ups. I'm talking about Salvatore Maletesta, the man behind St. Ali Coffee, and he joins me now. Hello.
Hey Wendy, how are you?
I'm really well, thank you. It's fantastic to see you. I believe you're on the road. Where are you heading?
Heading to Byron. As soon as the borders were opened up, we took off. Need some time out. It's been a big year, 2020.
Oh, it sure has. Well, thank you for stopping off to talk to me on your road to Byron. I'm so jealous.
Of course. And
now,
I'm sorry I'm in a car and don't have the beach behind me, but we're not quite there.
Oh, well, I hope you have a great holiday, if I don't say so later.
Thank you.
But listen, whenever I hear your name or say your name, I just want to drink coffee. It's like this weird response that it has in me. Do you have that effect on people in general?
Yeah, look, I hope so. I've dedicated my entire life to, celebrating the humble coffee bean, and it's all I think about all the time. And I can't wait to wake up in the morning and have my first cup, and I think about it throughout the whole day. So I hope so. I hope I've had that impact, Wendy. Thank you so much.
Well, today, in fact, this very day, you're launching a new iced coffee in a little milk carton, just like the Big M's of my youth. So you're definitely appealing to me.
Big M for grown-ups, yeah.
Is that what you were going for?
So, look, we've been trying to work out a way to make high-quality iced coffee with fresh milk for a long time. And, of course, there are some barriers there. One of the barriers is, fresh milk has, listeria risks. So we needed to find a dairy partner who believed in us, and we did. Riverina, our dairy partner, and we spent about a year and a half getting the cold brew concentrate right. I think it's delicious. Yes, the carton does bring me back memories of when I was a kid and riding my bike to the beach and having a surf. And I think, cartons are cool. Cartons are always cool. And we sort of try to do cooler things, but they're pretty simple. And we finally got a product, just fresh milk and delicious.
Now, you must feel like you've come full circle because you spent a lot of time educating Australia on the provenance of great coffee beans and how to make a perfect espresso and what the hell is a magic. And now you're going all retro with Big M's for grown-ups. Like, does it feel a bit strange?
I'll tell you, Wendy, the truth is, I had an epiphanal moment maybe 6 or 7 years ago. I spent a lot of time trying to convince people to drink coffee a certain way and focus on single estate, single origin micro lots from places like Panama and so forth. And a lot of people wanted, cafe latte, and a lot of people added sugar to their coffee, and a lot of people just wanted a dark roast. So what we've committed to is sticking to our principles with the quality of coffee that we buy and giving the consumer kind of what they want, really. So, I mean, we've even gone back to our roots in a sense. We've got an Italian coffee blend called Italo Disco, which celebrates traditional Italian coffee roasting, but with specialty grade coffee. So this milk product, I mean, when I look at my point of sale data, 10 years ago, 3% of coffees were black. Fast forward 10 years, it's about 6%, but that leaves about 84% of people who still drink milk. So, the milk market, alternate milks, is taking its share of that. So stay tuned for an oat milk version of this as well.
Well, that's interesting. So how can people get their hands on your new iced coffee now?
So we're launching today to sort of, friends of the brand and family and, independents and so forth. But we reckon by February, March next year, we should have a national rollout in the majors. Stay tuned. We want to get it right. And if you're in Melbourne or Sydney, then it's easy. Come by. We're doing sampling today on the house, making sure that you love it. We got our first bit of data from our sensory tests, and it appears we're 11 points above our competitors, which is apparently massive in sensory testing. So
Oh,
we're
well,
pretty happy with the product.
I can
If you're in
speak
Melbourne,
from experience that it is actually a really, really delicious iced coffee. So congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm going to
so
have
much.
to go,
If you're in
and
Melbourne,
you need to get back on the road, Salvatore. And if you're in Melbourne, pop into St. Ali in South Melbourne and have a taste.
thank you so much, beautiful. I love you so much. Bye-bye.
Thanks for your time. That was Salvatore Maletesta from St. Ali, who's now the vendor of grown-up Big M, so get on it. My next guest has been a quiet achiever in Melbourne's food scene for decades. Malcolm Green makes the city's most delicious tofu at a little cafe in Richmond. But this Friday, he's closing Tofu Shop International after 38 years of constant trading. Malcolm joins me in the studio, and it's not all bad news, I'm pleased to hear. Like, it makes me very sad that the Tofu Shop is closing. And you must have, when you announced it a couple of days ago, you must have been overwhelmed by people who were feeling the same way.
And there have been a few.
Yeah.
I try to convince them that the world doesn't end.
So why are you closing?
Social distancing is too difficult in a small environment. The town planning of City of Yarra is a little bit inadequate. The response to COVID has been way too slow.
So what is the town planning issue? We're in Bridge Road in the City of Yarra in Richmond.
We look at the city,
Yep.
but we're not part of it.
Yeah. So what's been the biggest problem? Are they those giant super tram stops being an issue?
If they worked, we'd let you know.
So that caused problems?
Well, there's not
for you?
even one at the town hall, but there's a ramp for a handicapped person, but they can't get off a tram there, can they?
Right.
So it's inconsistencies. That's
Right.
all I put it down to, rather than blame anybody. But I'd say inconsistencies across the board, and they're still looking for ideas, but they've already had them presented to them, and they haven't acted on them.
That's a real pity to see
Well,
that happen.
It's not my job.
So it's not all bad news,
No,
though. We're not going to be able to go and get a beautiful plate of broccoli and tofu anymore, but you're going to start teaching people how to make tofu.
Well, not so much as teaching people how to make tofu, how to use tofu in their homes.
So you can still sell it.
They can break out of the convenience cycle and actually do something for themselves. People tried this with bread making at home during the COVID period. I'm sure there's been a few alcohol bombs that have blown up in the shed as well.
Yeah, I think they're maybe even sourdough bombs.
Yeah, sourdough bomb, that's true.
So tell us what your plan is then. If we can't see you at the shop, what's going to happen?
We would like to introduce a very small group cooking class specialising in vegetarian, following on from your previous person.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll also have a quick short tour for 2 people at a time only in one day when we make the tofu, so they can come in and try the tofu and see all the elements in the production firsthand.
Well, that sounds fantastic. How do people find out about it if they want to support
They'll be
you?
able to have our email address, and they will be posting up dates and availabilities for classes. And I'll also have some guest chefs coming in, and we'll have some very private affairs in there, but it's not about the money anymore. It's just about, just chill out, nothing ever's going to happen. Anyone who's thinking about getting rich out of the food industry, have another thought.
You're going back to your late 70s hippie roots.
No, I wouldn't even say that. I'm saying this is the state of the nation, and this is what I conceive to be the next step for us.
Well,
We've given
that's
cooking
great.
classes over time. We gave them in for year 2000.
Well, it goes back a long way, the Tofu Shop International in Richmond, and I'm really pleased to hear that it won't be completely falling over
We'll work
when it
out who
closes
can
on
have.
Friday.
Other people will have our product. We'll make sure that other outlets around Melbourne will have the product. And anyone out there listening who wants to contact us to stock our product, if it's not too far away from us, we'll consider to have you as our
Fantastic. Thank you so
suppliers.
much for coming into the show, Malcolm. It's been my absolute pleasure to
Wendy.
meet you in person.
Wendy. It's a pleasure to meet you too.
That was Malcolm Green from Tofu Shop International. If you want a bowl of his delicious food, you better get in there by Friday. You've been watching Bread and Butter, broadcast live from Ticker's Richmond studios with the support of our program partner, Hungry Hungry. I'm Wendy Hargraves, and I'll be back next week with more news from behind the scenes of the hospitality business, including an interview with Melbourne's own Willy Wonka, Darren Purchase. Until then, stay safe and eat well.
Stream us live on the Ticker app, Apple TV, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube and tickertv.com.au. Ticker. Streaming news now.